Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm speed reviewing all of the new launches that I recently tried. The past month has been kind of crazy for new makeup launches, so I thought I would put them all together in one video, give you my thoughts so you don't sort of have to sift through other videos that might be a bit longer. I'm just getting straight to the point here to tell you if these products are really worth it or they were flops. Before we start the reviews, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you. The button is here, or is it here? It's in one of these corners, so hit that to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful at any point. Let's try to get this video to 350 likes. Hit that like button, but let's get started. Before we start talking about the makeup, I do have some exciting new things from Ana Luisa to share with you. We're also the sponsor of this portion of today's video. As you may know, Valentine's Day is quickly approaching and you may be looking for a gift for yourself to treat yourself or for a loved one. And if they're into jewelry, I would definitely check out Ana Luisa. They make beautiful pieces. They're a sustainable jewelry company and they really have something for everybody in terms of price range, but also in style. I have 3 new pieces to share with you. I'm always wearing their jewelry. In almost every video, my jewelry is from Ana Luisa because I love their style so much. I can always find something really fun that I love on their site. So let's start with one of my new favorite pieces ever. These are these little ball drop earrings. I don't know what else to call them. They're so cool. I did not know I was really gonna like the style as much as I have. They have a little like stud on the top and then a little piece of chain, and I just feel like they give a really cool movement and they're just kind of funky and unique, and I've been loving these. I just feel like they add really cool interest to any outfit. And then I have these 2 new necklaces. I'm always wearing usually 2 necklaces on a daily basis, maybe 3, but I like to switch them up. Usually I'll have a longer pendant like this one, which is so pretty. It has this like frame look to it and then a white center, and you might not be able to tell, but there's a little like embossed rose, and then this is just a tiny little like pave tag, which is so cute but adds a little bit of sparkle. So these 2 have been my new daily go-to layering pieces. All of their pieces also come with these really nice protective cloth bags that you can keep to travel with so nothing gets tangled. I keep all of these that I get and store the pieces in there so they have a little bit more longevity. But that was everything for Ana Luisa. Again, don't forget to shop their buy one get one 40% off sale before it's over. I will link that in the description below. I'm always going on their site trying to see if they have any new pieces because sometimes their new releases can be sold out pretty quickly, especially during these sales. So be sure to check it out below. And thank you to Ana Luisa for partnering with me again. But let's get into the makeup. First, I picked up the new e.l.f. Power Grip primer, which is supposed to be this gripping primer. I'm not really a huge gripping primer or really primer person in general, but I was curious about this. I haven't used it a ton, so like my opinion isn't totally definite yet, but I don't know, it's just not something I'm like noticing a huge difference in my makeup with. I'm not a huge fan of the sticky texture, but I will say if you like the Milk Hydro Grip primer, this is probably a great dupe. Try it out. It seems to have the same texture as that one and probably does the same thing, but so far it's not something I'm crazy about. Let's talk about another new launch from e.l.f. This is the Camo Powder Foundation. I picked up the shade 140W, which is very yellow. I've noticed with e.l.f. their warm shades run very yellow. It depends on the brand. I feel like some warm shades are just like more neutral. These are very warm, so be aware of that if you did want to order this. You get a sponge in the bottom and it recommends that you apply it that way. I do not like how that looks at all. It looks really bad over my texture because I feel like it just skims over the top of it. I did do a video on my Instagram trying this out. I will say the coverage is really good. It didn't wear spectacularly. Like it did end up looking a little bit cakey. I feel like that's the case with most powder foundations on my skin. They're just not my favorite. The thing with e.l.f. though is their products are so affordable. I'm like not mad that I bought this. I will definitely find some use for this. Usually with a powder foundation, I'll just use it to boost coverage over a liquid foundation. That way I'm using less product. It ends up looking a little bit better. So yeah, I like it, but it's not something I'm going to use as a foundation. It's more of like a add coverage. I'll probably use this as a concealer because it's so yellow. It'll help to cancel out redness. Other than that, not crazy about it. This is a brand new one from KVD. This is their Good Apple Concealer, which they just released to go with the Good Apple Foundation. Packaging love, looks super cute. The shade ended up working really well. This is light 105. I do find the swatches are like darker online than they were in person, which for me was good because I felt like they looked a little bit dark. It has this really interesting like half doe foot shape to it. It's a very liquidy formula, which for me can either be a big hit or a big miss. Unfortunately, this was definitely a miss for me. It gave good medium coverage and looked nice at first, but within a couple hours, because it's so thin, it sank into all of the lines under my eyes and looked really bad. It wasn't atrocious, but it really emphasized every tiny little crevice in my eye. So if you have problems with fine lines or other concealers do that to you, please avoid this because I'm not really a huge fan of it at all. Speaking of concealers, the NYX Bear Me Concealer Serum I recently tried. I really like the consistency and the wear on this. I do need a different shade. This one's too like pinky beige for me. It looks really off, but the serum consistency is fantastic and it looks beautiful. It's not as dewy as I was expecting. It is pretty dewy once you put it on, but it does set nicely and I love it. You know, I really am a fan of NYX base products. I feel like they do a really good job and that one was no exception. I also wanted to share my thoughts on the new Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. This was a little sample that I got. This is the shade Mont Blanc. I think that last one was correct, which is light with neutral to neutral beige for me. I definitely need I think the shade Gobi, which is, or it's Siberia. It's the lightest shade with yellow undertones. This formula I really like. It's super thin. It's really pretty looking. It does have good wear time. I much prefer this one over the new Charlotte Tilbury one. I'll explain in a little bit. This one like looked really nice. I've never been into a Nars foundation. I think I've used Nars Sheer Glow before when I was in high school, but since then I haven't really tried a Nars foundation. So if you were curious about this, I think it's a really nice product. I did look for a different shade in store and they're sold out. I feel like everyone's going crazy for this foundation right now, but for good reason. I think it's really good. So the Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation, I have a full review on this if you're interested. I don't hate this. I do like it, but I will say if you have texture on your skin, it really seems to enhance texture because it's so just like dewy and shiny on the skin, and I do have to set it down. Very light coverage. It does wear pretty nicely, but I think for the price it's kind of like overrated. It's not that good. Like it looks nice at first. There's a lot of things I would tweak about this and it's not as good as my Bite Beauty foundation, so I'm gonna keep this on hand and probably end up using it maybe in the summer. I'll like it better, but just not like a huge fan of this. And the last foundation like product I have is the Caloray Skin Tint. Again, have a full review on this and I do really like this. My favorite skin tint that I've tried so far. It's a nice gel serum-y consistency. I do wish they had more shades in their shade range. Other than that, there's not really anything wrong with this formula. It wears really well and I just really enjoy using this. It feels nice and light on the skin. And speaking of skin tints, the Rose Inc new skin tint, I don't even have it on hand right now because I returned it. I do not like that one at all. I tried it multiple different ways. It was just like water on my skin, like no pigment. This can build up to be like pretty good medium coverage. That one really didn't do enough for me to even ever use it again. Hugely disappointed in that. If you like super light coverage, I don't know, maybe watch that review to see if you would like it, but it wasn't my favorite or even a like of mine. New Rare Beauty launches, the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. I actually really like this. Not a huge cream bronzer person, but I like how this is in stick form. It's just like really easy to use. The color is nice, but again, critiquing the shade range on that. They need more shades. I believe they only have 4, and this one was described as cool toned, and I don't think it's cool toned, but it still works for me. And then we have the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist Soft Radiance Powder in the lightest shade. This deepened my under eyes, it deepened my whole face. It was too dark for my skin, which is hugely disappointing. I thought the finish was nice, but it looked really bad under the eyes. This is another no-go for me. But speaking of powders, one that I really like is the new Say Beauty Air Scent Radiant Loose Setting Powder. For a radiant powder, it actually looks pretty good under my eyes. It's not my most smoothing powder for under the eyes, but it does look good. My only beef with this is this tiny little container. Like, you don't get a ton of product in here. I'm not sure the price on this. It's probably not super high because Say Beauty is usually in that lower high-end range, Packaging's nice. The like lightest shade transparent is actually not too dark. It looks like it might have been. It gives your skin such a pretty glow. It has this like micro fine shimmer in it that doesn't look like shimmer at all. I don't feel like it enhances texture, which is different for a illuminating powder. Really pretty. I use this over my matte foundation today, like on my forehead, and I feel like it just gives you super pretty finish. If you like illuminating powders, you're not a huge powder person, I think this one is worth the shot. And I also want to talk about the e.l.f. brow lift. This is a new brow product of theirs. Just this clear gel that you use to put in your brows. And you can also buy the brow lift applicator, which I did. It has this like tilted brush on it, and then it also has the flat part for pushing up the hairs on your brows. This I have in my brows now. I'm not a huge fan of this. I feel like it doesn't like dry down, like it's still a little bit sticky, which is weird. I do like this applicator. Like I like that you can brush the hairs down if you want a really fluffy brow look. I feel like this is pretty good for the price. Like if you're looking at the ABH Brow Freeze or the other higher end products that are probably exactly the same as this, just try this one first to see if you would like it. It sort of has this weird like milky color to it. Other than that, not good, not great, but not bad either. Lastly, these Danessa Myricks setting sprays. These aren't super new, but they did come out relatively recently. Have the Set It Forever and the Dewy Forever Mist. These are so good. If you actually want a setting spray that does something, try these out. The dewy one is not super dewy. It doesn't leave a film or glow on your face. If you tried something like the Pixie Glow Mist or the Catrice Dewy Mist, those sort of add oil to your face, which can be not great if you have oily skin. But this dewy one is more of like a hydrating formula. It says it has a hyaluronic hydrating complex. Really nice, and literally set your makeup and make it last super long. The Set It Forever Oil Controlling Setting Spray, amazing too. Extends makeup wear. I actually noticed it controlling oil. These just do what they say they do, and I really love these. They're both scented. Nothing too crazy though, but I really like these. All right, that was it for my speed reviews. I hope you found this video helpful and enjoyable. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out Ana Luisa for gifts for yourself or for a loved one. They make such beautiful pieces, and I highly recommend checking their site out. See what you can find. But thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.